Exam 1. Solve, graph, and write in interval notation. Negative 1/2 less than 4x minus 1 over 6 less than or equal to 5 over 6. Let me multiply both sides of my equation by the least common denominator, 6. Positive times negative is negative. 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 1 is 3. The 6's cancel, so you get 4x minus 1 less than or equal to. The 6's cancel, 5. Let me solve for x. Let me isolate x in the middle. So let me add 1 to every side of my inequality. And so I have negative 2 less than 4x less than or equal to 6. Let me divide every term here by 4. And so I have negative 1/2 less than x less than or equal to 3/2. Let me graph this. And so I have here negative 1/2, 3/2. Oops. So I do not include negative 1/2. I include everything in between, and I include positive 3/2. And that is your answer. Graph. And in interval notation, negative 1/2 to positive 3/2. I include 3/2, but not negative 1/2. Let me do problem number 2. I want to graph the following. F of x equals x plus 3 if x is, less than 1. Negative 3 if x is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so let's graph this. So first off, let's graph y equal x plus 3. In this case, the slope is 1. So I have a rise of 1 and a run of 1. And the y-intercept is 3. So let's try to graph this. So the y-intercept is 3. And we have a rise of 1 and a run of 1. So you start here at 3, you go over 1, up 1, etc. And so the graph of y equaling, so that's 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. So that is what the graph here of y equal x plus 3. Well, but I only want y equal to x plus 3 if x is less than 1. And so I'll erase that portion. So this is only true for x being less than 1. If x is greater than or equal to 1, it's always equal to negative 3. And so when it's greater than or equal to, it's always equal to negative 3. And so this is what the graph of f of x. So this is the graph of y equal f of x. Let me do problem number 3. Solve m minus 4 over 3. 3m minus 1 over 5 equals 1. So let me multiply both sides of my equation by the least common denominator, 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5 times m minus 4. 15 divided by 5 is 3 times 3m minus 1. 15 times 1 is 15. Let me multiply 5, negative 3 inside the parentheses. And so 5m minus 20 minus 3 times 3m is a minus 9m plus 3 equals 15. Combine like terms. Negative 5m minus 9m, negative 4m. Negative 20 plus 3 minus 17 equals 15. Let me add 17 to both sides of my equation. Negative 4m is equal to 32. Let me divide both sides of my equation by negative 4. And so m is equal to negative 8. And that is your answer. Let me do problem number 4. Absolute 3 plus 6n equals absolute 4n plus 11. And so, well, since they're absolute values, then I must have that what's in the absolute value is equal to what's inside or the negative what's inside. And so I have that 3 plus 6n equals 4n plus 11, or 3 plus 6n equals a negative 4n plus 11. So let's see, let's subtract 4n from both sides of my equation, subtract 11 from both sides of my equation, and so I get negative, I'm sorry, subtract 3 from both sides of my equation, and so I have 2n is equal to 8. Divide both sides of my equation by 2. So n is equal to 4. Next, let me multiply the change all the signs here. And so I get 3 plus 6n equals negative 4n minus 11. Let me add 4n to both sides of my equation. Let me subtract 3 from both sides of my equation. And so I get 10n is equal to negative 14. Let me divide both sides of my equation by 10. And so n is equal to negative 14 divided by 10. Well, I can divide both 14 and 10 by 2. So negative 7 over 5. And that is your answer. Let me do problem number 5. Solve, graph, and write in interval notation absolute 6x minus 8 plus 3 greater than or equal to 7. Subtract 3. And so absolute 6x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 4. So therefore, 6x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 4, or 6x minus 8 is less than or equal to negative 4. Let me add 8 to both sides of my inequality. And so I have here that 6x is greater than or equal to 12. Divide both sides of my inequality by 6. And so x is greater than or equal to 2. Adding 8 to both sides of my inequality, I get 6x is less than or equal to 4. Divide both sides of my inequality by 6. And so x is less than or equal to, I can divide both 4 and 6 by 2. And so 2 over 3. And so x is greater than or equal to 2, or x is less than or equal to 2/3. And so let me draw this. So I have here 2 and 2/3. And so I have everything greater than or equal to 2, less than or equal to 2/3. And so that is the graph of my solution. It is the following closed set, the union of the closed set negative infinity to 2/3, union with the closed interval 2 to infinity. And that is your answer. Let me do problem number 6. Graph with 5 ordered pairs. Y equal absolute x plus 13. So first let's find my critical numbers. Let me set x plus 13 equal to 0. Subtract 13 from both sides of my equation. So x equal negative 13. And so I guess I will plot the following points. We were supposed to do 5 of them. So negative 15, 14, 13, 12, and 11. And so if I do that, I have, well, let's see, y equals absolute negative 15 plus 13, 2. Absolute negative 14 plus 13, absolute negative 1, 1. Negative 13 plus 13, absolute 0, 0. Negative 12 plus 13, absolute 1 is 1. Absolute negative 11 plus 13, absolute 2, 2. And so you can graph this. One, two, three, four, five. So at negative 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're, well, be 13. So 0, so something like that. Okay, let me do problem number 7. Negative 3, negative 8, negative 6, negative 9. You want to write the equation of a line through these 2 points, and you want to write your answer in functional notation. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so negative 8 minus a negative 9, negative 3 minus a negative 6. 9 minus 8 is 1. 6 minus 3 is 3. So that's the slope of your line. And so let's write the equation of your line. Well, I have a point and a slope. So I have y minus negative 8 plus 8 equals 1/3 x minus a negative 3 plus 3. Let me multiply, well, in functional notation, let me multiply the 1/3 inside the parentheses. And so I have y plus 8 equals 1/3 x plus 1. Subtract 8 from both sides of my equation. And so y is equal to 1/3 x minus 7. And so let's write this in functional notation. F of x equals 1/3 x minus 7. And that is your answer. 8. Graph y less than or equal to negative 2/3, 2/5 x plus 2. And x greater than negative 3. So this will be a dashed line. And this will be true below. This will be a, why did I say dashed line? This will be a solid line. And this is a dashed line. And so this end will be true to the right. So let's graph this. And so x equaling negative 3. Let me, okay, so we have here x equals negative 3, so it's a dashed line. And it's true to the right, so it's true in this direction. Next, we have x equals, oh, so the slope of this line is negative 2/5. Rise over run. And the y-intercept is 2. So if a y-intercept of 2, it is a solid line, and we go down 2 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should look something like good enough. And let's see, this is going to be true below. It's going to be true down in this region. Okay, so where it's true for both of them is in this region here. So let me I guess I'll do it in red. So this is your solution. Okay, so this is my solution. Okay, let me do problem number 9. So I have here x plus 5 over 2 equals 6x, 6 minus 4y over 3. And in addition, I have, actually, let me get some more room. And in addition, we have 3x over 5 equals 21 minus 7y over 10. Let me multiply. Let me cross multiply. And so I get 3x plus 5 equals 2, 6 minus 4y. Let me multiply 3, 2, inside the parentheses. So I get 3x plus 15 equals 12 minus 8y. And so let me add 8y, subtract 15 from both sides. So I get 3x plus 8y equals negative 3. So that's one equation. Let me multiply both sides of my equation by 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2 times 3x is 6x. 10's cancel. Add 7y to both sides of your equation. So I get 6x plus 7y equals 21. So let's call that second equation S. Okay, so let me multiply the first equation here by negative 2. So I get negative 6x minus 16y equals positive 9. And let me add these two equations together. So multiply everything here by -2. And so let's add this. So I get -9. The 6 x's cancel. So I get a -9y equals 27. Divide both sides of my equation by -9. And so y is equal to -3. Let's figure out what x is. Maybe I'll use r. So 3x plus 8y is -3. And so 3x, oops, minus 24 equals -23, equals -3. Let me add 24 to both sides of my equation. And so I get 3x is equal to 21. Divide both sides of my equation by 3. And so that says that x is equal to 7 and y equals -3. Let me do problem number 10. Well, so maybe I should write as an ordered pair. 7, -3. 10. 2x to the 5, y to the 6, to the power 3. 3x to the 7 over y squared to -2. Okay, so let's cube everything inside the parentheses. 2 cubed is 8. X to the 5th cubed, x to the 15. Y to the 6 cubed, y to the 18. Let's since I have a -2, let's take the reciprocal and square everything. And so that becomes y to the 4th. 3 squared is 9. X to the 7 squared is x to 14. And so 18 minus 4 is 14. X to the 15 divided by x to the 14 is x. And so your answer is 8x over 9 y to the 14. And that is your answer. Problem number 11. Write in standard form. So the line passes through the point -2, -5, and is perpendicular to the line 4x minus y equals 17. Subtract 4x from both sides of your equation. Divide every term here by -1. So y equals 4x minus 17. And so that implies that the slope of this line is 4. Therefore, the slope of a line perpendicular to it is -1/4. Let's use the point slope form for the equation of a line. Well, y1 is a -5, so y minus a -5, since y plus 5 equals m negative 1/4 x minus a negative 2, so it's x plus 2. And that is the equation of your line. Oh, but you want to write it in standard form. So let's try to write this in standard form. And so let me multiply the negative 1/4 inside the parentheses. And so I have y plus 5 equals negative 1/4 x minus, well, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Let me multiply both sides of my equation by 4. So you get 4y plus 20 equals negative x minus 2. Add x, subtract 20 from both sides of my equation. And so I get x plus 4y equals a negative 22. And that is the equation of my line, written in standard form, where actually I've assumed here that it's standard form where every coefficient here is integer valued. There are no common factors, so they're relatively prime coefficients. And the coefficient in front of x is positive. Let me do problem number 12. Two frames are needed with the same perimeter. One frame is the shape of a square. So you have one frame in the shape of a square, and one in the shape of equilateral. So you have an equilateral triangle. If each side of the triangle is 6 inches longer than each side of the square, so I can write it actually a little easier than this. Each side of the triangle is 6 inches longer. And these, of course, are all in inches. Find the length of each frame. Well, the perimeters are equal, and therefore the perimeter of the square is the same as the perimeter of an equilateral triangle. Let me multiply the 3 inside the parentheses. And so I get 4x is equal to 3x plus 18. Let me subtract 3x from both sides of my equation. So x equals 18. And so that means that my square, it says to find the length of each frame. Okay, so the square frame is 18 inches by 18 inches. Well, x plus 6, 18 plus 6 is 24. And so my triangle should be, 24 by 24 by 24. And that is your answer. And so those are the perimeters of those two picture frames. 13. The sum of the first and third consecutive even integers 540. Find the three even integers. So let x be the middle integer. Let x minus 2 be the preceding even integer. Notice that integers are separated by 2. And so if you have like the 54 is even integer and the 56 is the next consecutive even integer. So the x plus 2 is the succeeding. Even integer. And so the sum of the first and third so the first and the third consecutive integer is 540. And so I have here that 2x equals 540. Divide both sides of my equation by 2. So x is 270. So the answer is 268, 270, 272. $14. Wait. Oh, okay. Just the first and third. Let me do problem 14. How many quarts, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. How many quarts of 4% butterfat milk? So 4%. And 1%. And 1% buttermilk must be mixed to get 2,400 quarts of 3% butterfat milk. So let's call this X quarts. Well, X plus 2,400 minus X quarts is equal to 2,400 quarts. And so let's write the equation. And so I have that 4% of X, 0.04X, plus 4%, 1% of Y, 0.01, 2,400 minus X is equal to 3%, 0.03, 2,400. And so let me simplify this, multiply. And so I have that 0.04x plus 24 minus 0.01x equals 72. And so 0.03x plus 24 equals 72. Subtract 24 from both sides of my equation. So 0.03x is equal to 48. Let me divide both sides of my equation by 0.03. And so x is equal to 1,600. And so the answer is 1,600 quarts of 4% buttermilk. And, well, 2,400 minus 1,400 is 800 quarts of 1%. 15. A plane traveled 2,400 miles. And so you have a plane here. And it's going to be traveling a total distance here of 20 miles. With the wind in 4 point, so you have some wind here. It's wind. So you have some wind here. So they can travel with the wind. So in this direction in 4.5 hours. Oh, okay. So if you're going with the wind, it takes you 4.5 hours. And if you're going against the wind, you can go 2,160 miles. And it takes you, well, the same amount of time. Distance is equal to rate times time. And so let x be the speed of the aircraft in still wind, and let w be the speed of the wind, and let a be the speed of the aircraft in still air. Okay, and so let's get first equation. Well, the total distance that you go is 2,520 miles. The rate is, well, you're going A miles per hour in still air, but you're being helped by the wind, which is going W miles per hour. So you're getting a speed of A plus W miles per hour, and you're doing this for 4.5 hours. Similarly, you're going 2,160 miles. And while the rate that you're going is, well, you're normally going A miles per hour, but the wind is going against you. So you're going against the wind. So it actually reduces your speed by a amount of W. And it still takes you 4.5 hours. And so let's add these together. And let's see what happens. So that's 4,680 is equal to 1A plus A is 2A times 4.5. The W's cancel. And so I have here that 9A is equal to 4,680. Divide both sides of my equation by 9. And so A is equal to 4 gives you 50. That's 50. 520 miles per hour, because that's 45 and 18, 520 miles per hour. And let's figure out from there what the speed of the wind is. So I guess I'll do R, I guess. And so A plus W 4.5 equals 25, 40, 2520. So let me multiply the 4.5 inside the parentheses. And so I have 2340 plus 4.5W equals 2520. 26. Okay, subtract, just checking if in my head if that worked, minus 2340. And so I get 4.5W is equal to 180. Divide both sides of my equation by 4.5. And so W equals 40. And so the speed of the plane, oops. And so the plane goes at 520 miles per hour. This, of course, is in still air, and the wind is going at 40 miles per hour. And that is your answer. And so let me stop this then.